artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
A new season dawns as the virtual sun has set over Barberville, Florida, and the Volusia Speedway Park within. Welcome to the BRP iRacing series on PitStop TV. Andrew Cardinale with Joe Donahue alongside Trey Shuttlesworth is out and around the racetrack grabbing photos for us to enjoy on social media. We welcome you to, again, the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. I'm so glad to be back with these guys, back for yet another season of BRP action. And Joe, I'm excited. Back, of course, on our YouTube, our Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. I am excited for our third season of coverage with these drivers. This is going to be fun. This is the first round of the BRP Pro Late Model Tour's first stop of 13 on the season. Just like last season, Joe, we're starting things off from the half mile here in Florida. It is Volusia Speedway Park.
Yeah, Volusia is always a really great place to start off a season. There are a lot of real-world dirt racing series that do the same, but these guys are bringing out these pro late models, and they're coming to Volusia, a track that I think is going to fare well for these guys and these cars. Looking forward to it. We had a nice time getting a little bit of a break, but obviously we live, breathe, sleep, and eat race cars, so we're more than pumped to be back with these guys in the BRP iRacing series.
Boy, you're not wrong at all by saying we live, breathe, eat, sleep these race cars. It's been a week, but we are here ready to go on a Monday night, and we are ready to bring you the opening round of the BRP iRacing series in their new season. Let's take a look quickly, Joe, at their schedule for this season. A few changes to note. Of course, the order of racetracks, I believe, is a little bit different, relatively similar, though, to the previous season that we covered with these guys, and we are running from April through July. The other big thing of note, we are taking these late models to Kokomo, Indiana here in this season on June 21st. And we have a standardized feature race distance, 40 laps apiece across the board. Going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I think that'll help these guys out, just keeping a consistent amount of laps on the track. I do look at that Kokomo scheduled date. I'm excited for that. I got to go to the real Kokomo last week and see some racing there. I've always loved Kokomo. I think in iRacing, it's one of the most exciting and dynamic dirt tracks you have. It's very unique, and the racing there is just always exciting. So that's really cool to see added to the schedule. They took off my home track, Williams Grove, for it, but I'll let that one slide.
And definitely, the league is going after some cleaner racing. Definitely, there were some times last season where things got a little bit rough and tumble, and I think moving in this direction, first of all, a standardized race distance, I think is going to help everybody just plan for these races a bit better. I like that. But also trying to avoid, we're going to be honest here, Williams Grove, where it's just going to get tight with late models. Nothing against the racetrack. Williams Grove is a great racetrack. But it would be very, very tight. I've seen it before. It would be very, very tight with these Pro Dirt late models. So moving towards Kokomo, which is still going to be tight, it's still going to be interesting. I think that quarter mile should be a little more apt to hold these guys for what will be the 10th round of the season. Again, you see 13 on the schedule. Bristol is now a main fixture on the schedule. It slides itself into race number 6. It'll be a fun, fun season.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go to Bristol. I think Bristol races pretty well with some of these bigger cars, and I'm looking forward to seeing the late model sling dirt there. I like when we go to Fairbury. I think that's a really exciting race on the schedule, so we get to hold on to that to the end of the season. Lima Land should be exciting. Also, Lanier, I think those are two tracks that are free content on the program that are going to put some good racing out on the track. And, of course, Cedar Lake's a really great, well-kept facility and usually get some good stuff out of that one as well. There's a lot of really great racetracks on the schedule, don't get me wrong, but there are a couple that just shine out as really exciting, and looking forward to those.
The virtual stars of the BRP iRacing series, or I guess not virtual stars, they are definitely real stars, but in virtual cars, getting unloaded, getting ready to go this evening, turning their practice laps at the Volusia Speedway Park. Travis Miller, surprise, surprise, topping the charts so far. We'll put up our ticker on the left side. You see over 20 drivers have connected. No, actually, exactly 20 drivers have connected thus far. A lot of new names, though. I'm seeing guys like Earl Jackson in the 3rd position currently, Joe, as one of the newcomers. We've also got guys, well, like right behind him, Tanner Carrera in the number 11 machine. We've got Randy Rockwell, a newcomer in the 181. Jamie Porter, though, Dean Meitzler, a couple of names that we're very used to hearing, as well as Ryder Schrauf, a name that we're used to hearing, but certainly not with the BRP iRacing series. One of the stars, one of the admins of the LTAC Cup series, making his BRP iRacing series debut. Very glad that he's made the switch over, rather, to the BRP iRacing series for a few races, if not the full season this season, as well as this guy, Hunter Reeve, adorning the Operation Motorsport colors on the side of his number 44, because he is, of course, from Operation Motorsport. So we're seeing a lot of crossover lately. In fact, I can name 4 different leagues that drivers in this race have raced in with us here at PitStop TV.
Sort of an IROC, if you will, of our series. We're bringing in people from LTAC. We got some people that used to run with Bluegrass. We got the guys from last season here with the BRP series, obviously LTAC, Operation Motorsports, all these really great options for racing on asphalt. But these guys all come together on dirt, and we'll see how well their skills carry over. I know, Schrauf probably used to running a car that's a little bit looser, driving with the Cup Series machines. Maybe the rest of these guys who've got experience with the 360 and the big block from the last 2 seasons of the series, maybe they'll be caught off a little bit, and we'll see something exciting up at the front end, especially in the beginning stages of this season with this new late model package.
Yeah, I'm excited for these late models as well. This is a big change up from, of course, having the 360 sprint cars a couple of seasons ago, the big blocks last season, now changing things up, going to bigger late models, obviously longer wheelbases, longer bodies, and these aren't the super late models. They don't have the big motors in them, but 358s I think will get the job done, and it should give us a nice run of a season.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys who race big blocks in the real world that, running the big blocks last season was a really great opportunity for them. I look at Brett Haas, who actually was racing his real world late big block modified last weekend at Lebanon Valley Speedway. But I look at those guys and I think, they are used to running those big blocks, so maybe this is an opportunity to shake things up a little bit. These guys don't run late models full time, and maybe it'll get these guys to shake it up, get some new names up front, and hopefully some of those better names will compete with them too. It's a good equalizer, especially going season to season, and I think for BRP to do that really gives all the guys across the field a chance to be successful and to get up front.
Now, I do just want to say, as I see these drivers turning, it looks like 15.8s out here on the racetrack. In fact, wow, Travis Miller, Maxime Plant separated by just 1/1000th of a second, Joe. I'm noticing these drivers are turning 15.8s, 15.9s, even some in the 16s and 17s. I took a car around here earlier that did 13.1s. I thought that was pretty impressive. I'm just going to say that the Lara IR01 that we'll have with Cross Series League Racing here soon, they can come around here and do 13.1s. I think these guys might want to give that a shot here.
Hey, you got to play around a little bit with the program. One of the weird combinations I've always enjoyed is the Dirt Legends on rallycross tracks. I think that's just an absolutely fun time. But that IR01, man, that thing hauls, and I'm gonna have to probably give that a whirl.
V10 power.
Yeah, give it some V10, give it some absolute horsepower. It would be a really exciting place to do it. I think Volusia would be one of the dirt tracks you might enjoy more than some others with that car, but. Get some high banking on that thing, too. Might have to try that out.
Well, while that may be, while Volusia might be a fun one, I just want to say that Eldora, I took that car to Eldora, and I went faster than any lap record that's ever been set at Eldora. So, I don't know. Something might be going on with those cars. Might have to get a series together here soon. It could be a whole lot of fun. But as we get ready to go this evening, 40 laps on the docket as we're used to, or I guess as we are now going to get used to, as we see Carrera get into, I believe, one of our other newcomers. Was that Earl Jackson that he turned out? I'm not sure. Anyways, there's a whole lot of new cars to get used to this evening, Joe. But one thing that we are used to is the heat format. Nothing has changed. It's just the same as last season, so we are still expecting, the same number of heats, all right? We can have up to 4 heats. 4 will transfer from each. That gives us 16 cars out of 8 laps in each of those heat races that move straight into the feature. And then there will be consolation where 5 can transfer from. And that will give us our full field of race cars. So we're pretty used to the heat format. We're pretty used to how things roll. We oftentimes get 3 heats, maybe a few less drivers than you might expect in a full field. So we're pretty used to that aspect of a brand new season.
Yeah, and we're also pretty used to kind of the progression that we go through those heat races. You get through the first heat, the track's really young, so it's very tacky, and guys kind of work their way into it, and then by the third heat race, we kind of start seeing how the track's going to act through the B mains and into the feature. We'll see, what the lines are going to look like throughout the course of the race, and then obviously as you go through the feature, 40 laps is going to be a ton of time to work the track in, so it's just going to be very dynamic and interesting on the track. But I think the heat races are a good way to show who's aggressive, who's going maybe preferring the bottom side to the top side, where guys want to run and want to try to be fast throughout the course of the night. So definitely want to keep your eyes open on those heat races and try to pick up on the little things.
We get ready to go for 40 laps this evening of feature racing after a few heats, a couple of consolations if needed. Take a look at the weather, 77.4 degrees in the air, 72 degrees on the racetrack. Of course, not that that matters a whole lot, being a dirt track. And very calm winds set at 2 miles an hour. I don't think that'll change all that much either throughout the course of the evening. So, perfect dirt racing weather here on this Monday night in virtual Florida. I cannot wait to get this thing going.
It's really exciting. Finally we're shaking everything off. We're getting ready to go for a whole new season. I think these late models are going to be exciting. I have never been a part of a late model series before, obviously been with the BRP guys for a season. So I know these guys, know how they're going to roll it, but these late models should be pretty exciting, and, we'll see how it goes, but we're going to start qualifying right now.
Well, and these guys have actually run late models before in previous seasons. We just weren't around for it. So they ran late models, I believe, the season before we joined them with the 360 Sprint cars a couple of seasons back. And now they're back with late models. And here's one of our very usual stars of the show, Dean Meitzler on the racetrack, and his number 49 for his light machine. He starts his flying lap. We got several other drivers on the racetrack. Here's Travis Miller, of course, one of the big stars as well. We've got Ryder Schrauf on the racetrack, Jamie Porter, Matt DeRitter here in the 03. So many cars getting out and getting up to speed. We'll see who turns the first qualifying lap. And it is going to be, as we wait on times to come in, Adam Hilton goes to the top of the board, just in front of Wild Bill. Hunter Hulberg, who now gets moved down to fourth.
Hulberg came in, Meitzler came through, Carrera came through, Schrauf came through, Jamie Porter came through, Hilton, Hulberg, all those guys got their first laps in. They come through for their second ones. Travis Miller goes to the top side of the leaderboard. You're watching him slide through into turn number 3 right now. He sits just in front of Jackson in second and Schrauf in third. Kind of interesting to see all these different names up at the top end. Some of the guys from last season, some new names up there too.
Well, as this guy right here, Brett Fisher, also from the LTAC Cup Series. Looks like that first lap is a wash. He'll try and change that on lap number 2, but to the top of the board goes the 300 of Thomas Richard. We're very used to his name going fast, and here comes Maxime Plant to see what he can do as Brett Fisher tops the speed charts. How about that from Brett Fisher? Goes to P1. What can Maxime Plant do? He's going to top him. How about that? 3 purple times in a row.
I was just about to say, Brett Fisher came out from LTAC. He just showed up and he went to the top of the board. But Maxime Plant said, no, sir, this is my turf. This is my neck of the woods. I'm sitting up at the top side. He goes around for his second lap. Maxime Plant sitting at the top end of the board. A couple more guys to turn some extra laps right now. But for the moment, Maxime Plant's sitting pretty.
And here comes Hunter Reeve. He gets the wall there after his first lap, I do believe. That it'll invalidate lap number 2. We'll see. As Hunter Reeve now works into turns 3 and 4, you see some of the loose dirt. Not really forming a cushion just yet, Joe. We don't usually get too many cushions in the middle of the racetrack here on iRacing. It would take a long time for that to build in the real life anyways, but we do see that line on the bottom side starting to get worked in, starting to get cleaned off, and starting to look pretty good for racing. We'll see how that transitions as the night goes on. Hunter Reeve goes 12th quickest on his lap. Actually, I think he's coming around to complete lap number 2, and where does he go? It stays 12th quickest. So all 20 drivers have turned to qualifying time. It looks like we should, I would imagine, get 3 heats. We'll probably get 2 of 7 and 1 of 6, and everybody will move on. We won't have to run consolations, I don't think. So we should just have our 3 8-lap heat races and move straight on to feature racing this evening as qualifying comes to a close. We'll see how they line up for the first heat of the evening. And changing things up a little bit, actually. We're going to get 10 drivers in 2 different heats. Let's go down the starting order of heat number 1. Maxime Plant is going to start on the pole position with Thomas Richard to his right side. In row number 2, it's going to be Earl Jackson, a newcomer in the 58 car, along with Gavin Eisel in the 18. Starting 5th, it's Tanner Carrera in the number 11 with Randy Rockwell starting in 6th. Starting 7th this evening in Heat 1, it's James Richard in the 03 with Randy Giroux, the Big Show, on the outside of row number 4. The back row of Heat 1, it's Wild Bill Hunter Holberg rolling off 9th of the 99, along with his teammate Corby Daniels in the 10th position.
The Beef, Corby Daniels. Gotta love that nickname. The Beef is what they call him, but he's starting at the tail end of this field. Now, it's going to be really exciting to see these new guys. You got Earl Jackson, you got Tanner Correa, these guys who haven't raced with the series yet. And, throw them out there with Thomas Richard, Maxime Plant, race winners from last season. Certainly going to be exciting to see how they run together. This is their first chance to kind of get their feet wet and see how they want to run with these competitors. But, hey, we're about to get a green flag, so I'm excited nonetheless.
Absolutely. It's always exciting anytime we get ready to go racing at all, be it feature racing, heat racing, consolation racing, it doesn't matter. Even just unloading for practice is exciting for us. And another thing that's exciting is welcoming in a new league partner there, Pete Costco Hollage, now on the board with Bicknell Racing Products, of course the namesake of the BRP iRacing series, MDR Designs, Jam Performance, and Miller's Auto Detailing. And these leagues would not be possible. I say these now because we've got 2 BRP iRacing series to cover throughout the week. We have the Asphalt Modifieds coming on Wednesday evening, but for now, it's all pro dirt late models getting ready to go for heat race number 1 in round number 1 at Volusia Speedway Park. Waiting on the green flag signal. There it is. We're racing at Volusia. Down the backstretch for the first time, Maxime Plant has a challenger, and it is Thomas Richard on the outside of row number 1. Close drivers are behind, 3 wide on the turn 4. Eisel through the middle, and he's going to pass up Jackson on the bottom. 1 car in the wall hard.
Eisel tried to slide through underneath Thomas Richard, and Richard kind of lost it out of the tail of that corner. Oh, they're getting all squirrely on the backstretch. Cars around, spinning. Richard's going around in the middle of the corner. Holberg upside down, flipping. Yellow flag's going to come out here in this heat race.
Big incident on lap number 2 of heat number 1. Let's take a look back and find out what happens here to start this one off. It was a big one down the backstretch. A lot went on right there.
Yeah, so we'll pull up this replay here. Richard's already up in the wall. I mean, we saw that coming with Eisel trying to get into it with him, and then you got the 181 of Rockwell on the outside, Holberg down low. They just kind of ran out of room together. I mean, they all kind of meshed into one spot, and then you got 2 cars spinning off the front end. Tough way to start off the season, but hey, it's a heat race. You get it fixed up and get it back onto the feature.
Let's watch through this one more time, and it all just happens so quickly, but this will be another nice little opportunity to look back at things. Randy Rockwell, one of the new drivers in the series, he's caught up in the midst of this, and you see they just meet right in the middle. And just like that, you've got the 99 up and over, the 181 up and over as well, and Thomas Richard involved in things. So a couple of cars, well, it looks like 1 car, just Rockwell will have to tow. The other 2 get back rolling.
Yeah, and, you got to shake things off a little bit. Obviously, these guys haven't raced with each other on the stream here on official racing with this BRP series. So you just got to kind of get your feet wet, like I said, and just kind of get used to things. So you can't really blame them. It's racing and it might happen, but hey, get it together and learn from your mistakes. And these guys are going to still put on a good feature. So no worries, big time. We're just, going to have a good time running to the finish with this heat race and then get them back out for the feature.
So, of course, thank you so much this evening tuning in on PitStop TV, no matter where you're watching from, be it Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. Let us know in the chat, though, where you are watching from and who you're cheering for this evening as we get ready to go for, I believe it'll be the only restart of heat number 1. The second green flag of the evening, though, as Maxime Plant will lead us back around to the green. Gavin Eisel now on the outside of row number 1, changing things up as Thomas Richard has gone shotgun on the field. The very last car still running. We'll see how this restart treats him, if he can get back up through the field or not. We're just running qualifying races this evening at Volusia, no eliminations, so these drivers all safe, just trying to better their starting position. Plant fires off, immediately clear of the field.
Nice start by Plant. You got Schrauf down on the inside. Eisel, they're going side by side. That's actually Jackson down on the inside there as they come through 3 and into 4. Maxime Plant dives to the bottom side trying to protect that line down low. Good run off of that one coming to the white flag of this race.
White flag out, 1 lap to go, just 1/2 mile stand between Maxine Plant and the first win of the season, albeit a stage win. And out of turns 3 and 4, Maxine Plant will hang on. He's going to grab it, and across the line, it's Earl Jackson ahead of Gavin Eisel and Tanner Carrera for 4th, James Richard 5th, then Randy Giroux, Hunter Hulberg, Thomas Richard, and a photo finish. Oh my gosh! As was Corbin Daniels back of the field, and Randy Rockwell, who took an early exit out of that heat race. We will get ready then to go for heat race number 2. And Joe, go ahead and walk us through this lineup.
Well, let's start off on the front row. We got a guy from LTAC coming over to run with the BRP guys. Brett Fisher going to start on pole. On his outside, a regular with this series, Travis Miller, one of his partners of the series itself. Ryder Schrauf starting on the inside in 3rd spot. To his outside is going to be Jamie Porter in car number 45, newcomer and an old-timer. Starting in 5th place, you got Dean Meitzler in car number 49, and to his outside is going to be Hunter Reeve of Operation E Motorsport. Throw it back to row number 4. You got Matt DeRitter on the inside, the 003 on the scoring pylon, with Adam Hilton in car number 3, to his outside in 8th spot. Final row in heat number 2, going to start on the inside with a newcomer, Alan Slate in car number 2, and to his outside will be the 121, a name we're used to seeing, and a name we're used to seeing up at the front nowadays, Tyler Pachalski.
So heat race number 2, once again, 10 cars strong this evening for 8 more laps of action at the Volusia Speedway Park. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Can't get enough of these partners that we've got, some of the new partners here. Well, the one new partner that we have, Costco Haulage, along with the returning partners, Bicknell Racing Products, Matt DeRitter Designs, Jam Performance, and Miller's Auto Detailing, as well as our own partners here at PitStop TV, Tucson Sound Art, Race Pay Setups, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, and Whiplash Media. These broadcasts, these races, these leagues certainly would not be possible without all of the outside effort from so many great partners across all of our PitStop TV broadcasts. And we thank everybody so much for their continued support of PitStop TV and our wonderful racing leagues. Getting ready to go for heat number 2. It's the 21 and the 22 on row number 1, leading us down to the green flag. Here we go. Green flag in the starter's hands. We're off and away. A great start from Miller. Fisher falters in the bottom. Down the back stretch and into turn number 3. Travis Miller leads it all. There's a pack of hungry hounds, and behind him, one in the wall. It's Hunter Reeve.
Reeve kind of got slid all the way up. He falls to the tail end of the field from that one. A little mistake's going to send him to the rear, but no big worry. We are only in the heat race. Things are heating up a lot in the mid-pack right now. Slate's trying to put it on as Travis Miller still leads comfortably up the front end of the field.
To complete lap number 2 by the speed shot on the front stretch. One in the wall hard. That's Alan Slate in the number 2 car. He pops the wall and keeps going. Pachalski there with him. Porter as well. And they are in behind Matt DeRitter, Adam Hilton as they start to pull away.
Nice little battle here. These guys getting things shaped up, giving us a good show here. Meitzler trying to defend a little bit from Hilton there. You saw it on your screen as Hilton's going to fall back into the hands of DeRitter right now. Might see a nice little race for those two as we come to the halfway point of this first heat race. Travis Miller, Brett Fisher still holding on easily at the front end.
The leaders, nothing changing for them, but here is the number 3 of Adam Hilton. He's got green numbers in that white and yellow machine. He's in front of the 03 of Matt DeRitter, now in the 6th positions. These guys fighting literally in the midfield. Bachalski's in behind, and Jamie Porter's got problems. He gets back rolling, and they will continue on. It looks like green flag. Hunter Reeve all but stopped for those guys, and he will now battle with Jamie Porter for the 9th spot. Meanwhile, Travis Miller down the backstretch. It's lap number 6, and we're coming around to 2 to go.
We will have 2 to go, so that's 2 more opportunities for Schrauf to throw that nose down on the inside of Brett Fisher. You saw him peek a little bit into turn number 3. Falls off a little bit. They go single file through 1 and 2. Schrauf can hold a nice run through 1 and 2 and get through the corner a lot faster than Fisher right now. They come to the white flag this time. 1 more lap to go in this heat race. 1 more chance for Schrauf to get that run on the inside.
He almost got there. Now he'll go there onto the inside of turn number 1. Contact moves Fisher up the racetrack. They'll drag race at turn 3 as ahead. Travis Miller is going to exit turn 4. A heat race victor. The battle to the line. It's going to go Fisher's way. Schrauf third. Then it's going to be, looks like, was that DeRitter across the line? It was. 4th place. Then Hilton. Pachalski slight. It looks like Hunter Reeve is going to grab 8th as Jamie Porter comes in front of Dean Meitzler. What a wild heat, too.
that was a great way to finish that one off. A nice little battle for second place right there. Obviously, Travis Miller held on to that thing well, but still really cool to see Schrauf up there fighting with Brett Fisher and getting that LTAC run going down for second place.
Fireworks here at the Volusia Speedway Park, and trying to show them to you. Looks like they're just off in the distance. We'll see if we get an nice view of them here shortly. But fireworks are going up. That's what you hear in the background. That's why I was calling those out. Boy, are they loud in my headset right now. But anyways, we will get set to go then for our feature event. We've got 20 drivers, Joe. Let's walk you through the field. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for Volusia. On pole this evening, it's none other than Maxime Plant in the number 79, and Travis Miller to his outside in that number 22 machine. Starting from the second row in the third position, it's Earl Jackson in the 58 car with Brett Fisher to his outside. The inside of row number 3 is Gavin Eisen with Ryder Schrauf, the other 58 car, there in the 6th position. Starting 7th this evening, none other than Tanner Carrera in the number 11 with Matt DeRitter starting 8th. The final row of the top 10, it's James Richard and Adam Hilton.
Throw it back to row number 6, starting on the inside, the big show. Randy Giroux in car number 24, to his outside, going to be the 121 of Tyler Pachalski. Inside row 7 is Hunter Holberg in car number 99, and his outside is going to be Alan Slate, making his first feature start. Going back to 15th on the grid, you got Thomas Richard in car, scored number 300, has won last season. Hunter Reeve, a newcomer to the series as well, starting 16th, his outside. Going back to 17th, you got the Beef, Corby Daniels in car number 88, and his outside is going to be Jamie Porter in car number 45. And your final row on the field, Randy Rockwell and Dean Meitzler will round out the tail to come to this green flag.
So 20 cars set to go for 40 laps here at Volusia. It all happens that quickly. Just over a half hour since we started this broadcast, and we are already into our feature event. You see the virtual fans taking virtual pictures, much like those you can see on our social media channels, thanks to Trey Shuttlesworth this evening on our social media accounts, be it Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, you name it, we are on it. You should check it out, and you should give us a like on our, or even a follow, be it on Twitter and Instagram on our accounts. We'd certainly appreciate it, as would Trey Shuttlesworth with all that hard work this evening. Ready to go then for our third and final event of the evening. It's our feature race here at Volusia. Ready to go for 40 laps. Our 20 hungry drivers in the BRP iRacing series, none of them defending champions. Here we go at Volusia. 40 laps, get going. Into turn 3, Plant loses a couple of spots, working the bottom side. Miller's going to lead this first lap. Fisher with him, barely snags second place. We raced lap 2.
Plant giving a nice charge on the inside right now. You got Earl Jackson back there still lurking slowly on these two as they're side by side for the second spot. Travis Miller is just taking advantage of this, running away with the lead for the moment. Maybe Earl Jackson going to shake things up with him too.
On board here with Carrera. Love these onboards on dirt, but we do have a caution out in the back, and it looks like it's going to involve none other than Ryder Schrauf in his first BRP start. Let's take a look back.
Tough break for Ryder Schrauf. They're already getting sent into the work area from this one. We'll get the official PitStop TV replay up here and show you what took the 58 car in this instant. We ride along with Korea right there, and we're checking out Ryder Schrauf right now on the inside of the track. Tough break for Ryder Schrauf. Obviously, we'll get a replay here, see if we can get him up. But yeah, I mean, he did pretty darn well in that heat race, and you know, you'd expect to see maybe coming up to the front end while the track's still tacky at the beginning of the night. One of those guys who'd be used to running a car on a little bit less grip, you know, running with the Cup Series car. But Ryder Schrauf, tough break to get stuck out with this situation here, bring out this first yellow of the race.
Looks like he has connection issues here to start things out. I wonder if the caution came from somewhere deeper in the field. But at that point, I've got no clue where this would have happened. Very interested by this set of scenarios. I'm not really sure what's gone on, but it did not involve Ryder Schrauf, I don't believe. And we didn't see it then.
Well, it's you know, get these guys re-racked and restacked and give them another chance to get rolling again. An interesting caution. Surely the drivers are going to be just as perplexed as we are up here about how we got here. But hey, you know, get them back together and get your act in shape. Get your number, get your car in the right place, and get your mindset in the right spot too. I think getting a yellow at the beginning of the race is always a tough thing to deal with. These guys get it into race mode, and then you have to settle it down for a caution. But hey, we'll send them back up and get the green flag back out as quick as we can.
We're being told it involved the 121 here of Tyler Pachalski, and you can see definitely some damage on that car. So he is the reason for our first stoppage of action. Again, not really sure what went on for him, but unfortunately, obviously, got plenty of damage, so I certainly believe that he was the source of that caution as Ryder Schauf rejoins the pacing field. We'll get ready to do it all over again. Lap 3 coming to lap 4 of 40, and we are green.
Nice start on the outside for Travis Miller, but Eden also a nice start for Maxime Plant down low. Those two side by side through 1 and 2 down this back straightaway. Hardly a straightaway, but it is the back stretch. And wow, Maxime Plant held really low as they come back to the stripe this time. Travis Miller going to lead again.
See the whole field working into one. A hard hit for somebody. Who was that went up and over? We've got more wreckage, more cars up and over. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a lot of cars in the mid and tail end of the field, littered all the way through 1 and 2, and even onto the backstretch. De Ritter involved. I think I saw Holberg involved in there too. Tough break for those guys getting back to the green flag and having that happen so quickly.
Take a look further back. It looks like it had already happened at that point. So we'll go back and see what happens here. It all begins a little bit with James Richard down the front stretch. And some big problems for these drivers into one. Randy the Big Show Giroux is in there, and then Holberg kind of pushed him up into Richard, and that's what sends the 03 over. But then a whole lot else happens, and I think it continues to involve Hunter Holberg.
They were about 4 wide going into turn 1 right there. Obviously, it gets pretty tight in there when you got 4 cars side by side by side. I believe. I think they got all in there. But yeah, it's a tough break for these guys. Hunter Holberg's one of those guys who had a lot of ups and downs last season, so this was kind of an opportunity for Hunter to try to get consistent and get some good top 5, top 3 finishes in, but obviously not the start of the season Holberg would have wanted. You see, he's registered from Florida, so this might be his home track, home race. He wants to perform well, but obviously going 4 wide into turn 1's not really going to... Well, it didn't really get 4 wide. It just kind of got tight right there with Giroux and the rest of them. Oh, these other cars already stopped on the racetrack.
I'm not sure what happened there to Rockwell, but you see more drivers just nowhere to go, piling into it, and definitely taking some big damage very, very early into this one. We'll get them re-racked and ready to go here momentarily. Only a lap 5. Once we go green, it'll be lap 6 of 40 here at the Volusia Speedway Park. 20 total miles for these drivers, and we are not quite 10th of the way into things, not quite even a 5th of the way into the things, so still, I guess it would be, I have to think, it would be about 5th of the way once we complete this time around, right? I don't know. My math is certainly not working for me this evening, but I guess Joe is on top of it. We'll let these guys loose. We'll turn them loose this time around. Green flag in Barney's hands. Waiting. Green flag is out. We go back racing.
And off and away, finishing lap 5. We are an 1/8 of the way through this race. Can't blame you for not having the math on your head all the time. I do way too much homework in my life. But Travis Miller rocketing down the back straightaway right now. Maxime Plant falls back into a pretty far gap into second spot right there. He's got Fisher and Eisel now trying to run down low. Gavin Eisel, one of those guys who can kind of bottom feed like a catfish on a regular basis, bringing out another yellow flag, though. Tough break for Eisel. Might have been able to get a good run there.
Looks like this one's going to involve, unfortunately, Hunter Reeve. Big problems for him. One of the beneficiaries over there in the Operation E-Motorsport iRacing League presented by Recaro. We'll see what happens to the 44 on this short little run to a caution flag. And he quickly jumped up to the outside behind Tyler Pachalski, but I think that might have been a pretty poor decision given hindsight. Yeah, they stack up on the bottom. Pachalski up the racetrack right in front of Ryder Schauf as well. There was nowhere for Hunter to go.
Yeah, that absolutely was not Hunter Reeves' fault. You send yourself to the top side when you got cars down low. That is a possibility that they could get kind of loose, come up on the racetrack, slide up to where you are, and then obviously bring you involved into an incident. But Hunter Reeves just trying to go up top, rip the lip a little bit, get some experience with this late model and these guys in this field. Comes to the outside, and then, yeah, like you said, Andrew, they just kind of bobble up together on the bottom side, and Pachalski kind of turns left or turns right pretty hard, and into him they go.
There was contact there with Corby Daniels that sent the 121 careening up the racetrack. Pretty unfortunate there for Hunter Reeve, but glad that he's able to get one fast fix. And actually, that's a great point for us to mention. These drivers used to have two, I do believe, along with a pretty open incident limit, but admin's definitely taking a stricter approach this season. Only 12 incidents that these drivers are allowed. That's basically 6 instances of car contact, and only one fast fix. So basically, you get 5 times to be involved in something before you get DQ'd out of this race session. So somebody either ends up just having a really rough night, or maybe being a catalyst in a lot of cautions. They could find themselves on the outside of this race field by the end of the evening. And of course, certainly, if your damage just is too much for your team to fix, and you have to use that fast fix once, then you don't have it again. So if you get involved in another big accident like that, you may just be left again in the garage with nothing you can do.
Yeah, and that brings a little bit of strategy into it for these guys. You know, obviously you don't want to get in wrecks at all, but if you only have one, you know, you got to be patient. You got to be smart with that one save that you have, that one fast repair, because you might get caught up in somebody else's mess a little bit at some point in the race, and you know that happens. But you only have one lifeline, so use it sparingly, use it wisely, and hope for the best. You know, it teaches these guys they got to drive really cautiously and be on top of that stuff when they go through this race, because you only get one this time, and you get those points. So those points, they rack up quick, and you can get sent home pretty easily.
Looks like we may be going single file restarts on this time around, at least, if not the rest of the way through this race. So we'll see how that shakes things up here as we get ready to complete lap number 7 and take lap number 8. There we go, green flag. We race down to turn number 1.
And as expected, a nice start for Travis Miller going single file like that. Maxime Plant does get on in the middle of the corner. Maybe had some afterburners there in the middle of 1 and 2. But he is right there with Travis Miller. The track's kind of working in nicely. They can kind of run in the middle, and we got Tyler Pachalski backwards on the back straightaway. Yellow flag coming back out again.
Unfortunately, this is happening all too often to the driver of the 121, and we'll see what happens to him this time around. In fact, let's even go on board and see what goes on for the driver of the 121 machine. Back here behind Corby Daniels, you see Corby up in front of him. And what's going to happen? Is he going to get help from behind? Yeah, he gets help from behind. Was that Dean that sent him around? And oh, Ryder, nowhere to go.
Well, Ryder Schrauf had nowhere to go there. I was wondering how Pachalski got into a situation where he was in reverse down the backstretch right there. But, I mean, yeah, you can see from the onboard, you don't expect to get hit from behind like that. Just kind of, you know, obviously you can't see behind yourself. But Dean Meitzler was the guy who started behind that 121. Just kind of came into that corner, probably a little bit quicker than Pachalski in the middle of the turn. And you'll be able to see it here. Yeah, just not as much turn for that car in the middle of the corner. Went faster and into the tail of the 121.
I want to watch this from Ryder Schrauf's onboard quickly before we go back green flag racing. So once we get ready to go here, we'll restart this replay. We'll show you what it looks like from the perspective of the driver of the 058. And into turns 1 and 2, you see it all just happening ahead. Hunter Reeve lucky to get by, but Ryder Schrauf not so lucky. And it looks like Rockwell gets another piece of another incident, that time down the back straightaway. Travis Miller, still your race leader. We'll see how it works out for the Thriller on this next restart.
That was a tough break for those guys at the tail. They've been involved in incidents before. Schrauf, that onboard showed me the way he was turning into that corner, the car probably wasn't handling quite the way he wants it to be right now. So that's just going to exponentially get worse for those guys at the tail that have been involved in a couple incidents. But that's really tough for those guys on their debut for this season and having this happen so early, and it's a tough break.
The Tucson Sound Art 58S, unfortunately, likely going to be left behind, already a couple of laps down, and a whole lot more damage after that. When we go back green flag racing, Travis Miller gets this race restarted. We race off into 1 and 2. Maxime Plant bringing the challenge, and these couple of clean cats up front battle off into turn 3.
Plant's going to dive low. Miller's still running kind of in the middle. That's where the track seems to have worked itself to at this current moment in time. Haven't really worked up to the high side quite yet. Plant's been running really solid through the middle of the turns. I think that's where he's going to try to get a run that Travis Miller will have to watch out for. If you look further back, Eisel, guy down at the bottom end of the track. He's got Hilton coming on his outside. This nice little battle for third right here.
Oh,
man, and that goes.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
that was
my gosh.
Oh, we're still wrecking. Yeah, tough break. Adam Hilton, get that car woed down there. Yeah, that was a tough break for those guys racing so hard for third spot right there. That was shaping up to be a pretty good one. Adam Hilton came on pretty strong, but yeah, that's a tough break. They just kind of all swirled together.
So Adam Hilton, big problems on this latest restart. He was racing there with Gavin Eisel. We watched it all happen live. We'll watch again to see what happens to these guys down the front stretch here at Volusia Speedway Park. They all just come together out of turn number 2. I don't think that's quite what the Beatles had in mind, as, man, they all just funneled out. There's just nowhere for some of these guys to go, and it's so hard to stop a late model as well. The way you rig up the brakes on these cars is not conducive to stopping on a dime.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, on dirt, anytime the dirt starts slicking off, and it's difficult to avoid incidents like that. Nonetheless, the late models, like you said, they handle in this way where brakes really don't get you stopped in a standstill very quickly. So when this kind of thing happens in front of most of the guys in the field, obviously they're not going to be able to get that thing wound down. But I mean, you had a nice 2x2 battle going on. Hilton was getting on pretty strong. Actually, it was pretty impressive to see Hilton was kind of slowly trekking his way up to where Eisel was and to where Fisher was as well. But pretty wide in that corner, and obviously it all got very tight very quickly, and then they all from up. Allen, Slate. Yeah, I mean, you can see, just can't get that car stopped in time.
Earl Jackson was all over the inside wall. He ended up on his lid out of all of that. So a lot going wrong for a lot of drivers early on in this race still, as we work now lap number 11 under caution flag conditions. We'll see if we can't get restarted this next time through to take lap number 12. So certainly, I think polar opposites from what we had last season here at Volusia. We had a great start to the season, great battles, but there's still time yet to go. Still plenty of time for us to have some great racing, so I think we've still got the possibility for a special race here at Volusia.
Yeah, you got to kind of get your swing back together for these guys. Obviously, it's been a few weeks that they've been off, and they ran big blocks anyway, so it was pretty different last time they all came out, but just kind of get things back together and kind of get back in the right mindset of keeping your car clean and running well. I think we could expect to see some incidents at the beginning of the season, everybody just trying to get things together. But, once we get into the mid to late stages of this race, I think the guys will kind of have it figured out and hopefully be able to get us a good finish and a good show.
Ready to go for yet another restart here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Pace truck lights are out, and we'll go back racing this time by to take lap number 13 here. Joe, number 12 rather, is underway. I don't know why I went to 13. We do get back racing. Brett Fisher, an early charge down to the bottom side, but can he hold it?
It didn't look like Fisher could hold it right now. As I said before, it seems like the middle of the track is where it's worked itself up to. Miller running up there while he's got Plant down on the inside. Maxime Plant still challenging for that race lead down low through 1 and 2. Miller's going to try to rip out the outside, and some momentum going to put that 22 fully back into the race lead.
You can see from underneath the rear end of the 22 car what Maxime Plant's trying to do to keep up with Travis Miller. It's been a while since we've seen the Thriller do amazing things like this, but this evening looking like it might go his way. Winless last season in the big blocks, he might get things started off with a bang here in the late models.
Yeah, Travis Miller didn't even get onto the podium since Williams Grove, which was race 9 last season. So that was 4 whole races that he didn't get onto the podium. Right now, he's running at the front end of the field. He's got Plant all over his tail. It's definitely not over yet, but right now, Travis Miller is definitely sitting pretty to be one of those guys we could, at least at this moment in time, predict would be in the top 3 as long as that car stays under him when the track slicks off.
Maxime Plant working in behind here, the 22 car. Travis Miller, and literally almost up underneath the back end of that 22 car. I love that about late models, the way these noses line up a bit like Gen 4 stock cars as they work around the front stretch one more time. We've got a big gaggle of race cars back here fighting for 4th on back, as it looks like DeRitter gets clear of Fisher, and now Richard and Porter are going to fight.
Jamie Porter and Thomas Richard have started to move up to the front of this field. They're working with DeRitter and Fisher, who slides right there. They almost made contact out of that final turn right now, but hey, this is a nice battle, and save it. Nice save. DeRitter got that car woed back and got it under control. Fisher definitely didn't want to turn him out of the way like that, but good job by DeRitter as Porter does a big slider up in front of these two. Thomas Richard going to capitalize, maybe pass all 3 of them right here.
If it's not a full send, it's not a send at all for Jimmy Porter, but a caution comes out, and this is going to involve Hunter Holberg and Tanner Carrera down the front stretch, and Carrera on his lid. We've seen that all too often this evening.
Yeah, that's a tough break. These late models, they don't flip a whole lot normally, but we've seen a few of them. The way that they get into each other when they're sitting still, obviously, just a whole lot of momentum and inertia gets all jacked up all at the same time. But we're watching with Carrera right now down the backstretch. He's got Hilton in front of him. This is Hunter Holberg. He's contact right there, and that just sends them all around. Oh, big hit for Hunter. Actually, 2 big hits. He got T-boned there on the front stretch too.
Now, those were a couple of big impacts for sure. We'll take a look back and see what happens here to the driver of the 99 car. And again, just funneling out of turns 3 and 4, just running out of room. He was racing here with Hunter Reeve, a couple other drivers in behind. And, man, some really rough hits there.
Yeah, Hunter Reeve went down low. I believe that's James Richard right behind him with Hilton. Yep, and, a little bit of contact there for Reeve, but a lot for Carrera right there. That was a lot of cars involved in it in the minor sense, and then obviously you got Holberg and Carrera going pretty major damage. So hopefully those guys have maybe have held on to a faster pair, because I would think he'd need it at that point.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say so as we work lap 19 of 40. Had a great little run going there for a couple of laps, so certainly a great preview of what could be to come in the back half of this race as we're only getting up to about halfway this time through. If you notice, the ticker's a bit different. We're going for a smaller ticker to open up some more screen space to you guys under green flag conditions. So the top 5 are static. The bottom 5 will page through the rest of the field. So you'll see positions 5 through 10 change over to, well, in a moment, it'll be 5 through 10. Wait on it. There we go. Sorry, 6 through 10, rather. We'll change over to 11 through 15, and so on and so forth. So opening up that bottom left for a little bit of a nice change-up of things and getting ready to go for lap number 20. Travis Miller, the great launch off the bottom side.
That was an interesting start. Looked like he was squirrely, and I was concerned Travis Miller was going to get eaten up by this pack, but he got the power down, and he rolled off pretty well. Maxime Plant's not letting him go quite yet. They go into turn 3 side by side with Isel sliding hard on the bottom side, trying to catch up as much time as possible with that 18 car.
This is the biggest fight for the lead yet. Maxime Plant working the bottom, and it's working out for him so far. He's got a half a car ahead. Down the back stretch of turn number 3, Maxime Plant with a slide job, maybe. And the crossover going to try from Travis Miller across the line, and he noses ahead, clears him back up into 1.
That was an excellent crossover from Travis Miller right there, definitely showing that car is sitting underneath him well for the moment. Gets that lead about 2 car lengths into the corner. He runs low. Maxime Plant stays up higher in the middle. Gavin Isel tried to capitalize on that. Didn't quite work out for him. He still stays in 3rd place.
Look at this gaggle of race cars are behind. Fisher and Porter work the top side as Richard slides to the bottom. And Hunter Reeve to the top side. He wants a spot around the 300 car.
Reeve running way up top, definitely the car furthest up on the track right now, trying to get around Thomas Richard, a race winner in this series, and Hunter Reeve comes out in this first race of the season trying to challenge for position. Now maybe even going to get 2 for 1 out of turn number 2. Nice momentum for the 44 to the outside of Jamie Porter. Going to try to follow Brett Fisher through 3 and 4 right here, try to get into the top 5.
Now, Joe, we know Hunter Reeve from GT4 cars and Mazda Miatas, not for running dirt. This is incredible seeing the 44 car work almost into the top 5 now. He has got a wonderful machine underneath him, and he wants to go for more as Porter, Fisher, and Isel fight out of turn number 4. A caution flag is going to fly.
That was a nice little battle. We were starting to get there for 3rd, and it looks like we got that 185 RR sideways and getting that car figured back out in turn 4. Probably not the most major incident we've seen tonight, but definitely not what he wanted to see driving that 181 to get his first run in with the series.
No problems here for Randy Rockwell. We'll take a look back, of course, at the replay, and I love those chrome numbers on the side. There goes Earl Jackson through the middle, passes up, but was slight on the bottom side. And then they fight around the front stretch once more. So then Holberg inserts himself into this one. And, ooh, there goes Rockwell at the racetrack. Some contact there with Holberg. And suddenly enter Randy Giroux. I think this is where this one happens. Oh, and you know what? Rockwell comes down the racetrack, and Randy had nowhere to go.
Randy really dipped into where Giroux was, and that was tough for the 181 right there. He's just trying to get down to the bottom side, but the Big Show's already down there and kind of pulled himself across that nose and obviously backwards and into all sorts of shebangs in turn 3. Tough way to try to continue on in that first race with these guys out on track, but Giroux, hopefully doesn't have too much damage off that, can keep it going and try to get further up the front.
A couple of Randys having trouble here, and we'll see from Giroux's perspective. Yeah, I mean, the other Randy just kind of constricts his entry, and there's nowhere for Randy Giroux to go.
Nice little rhyme right there, Andrew. I appreciated that one. The Big Show, yeah, definitely didn't have anything he really could have done right there. When you got another Randy coming across the nose like that, tough break. But, you know, a small caution here. We got a couple good laps in, and I think they're showing that the track's getting to the state where we can see some really great racing out of these guys up front.
That's a weird problem to have, a Randy across the nose, but unfortunately for Giroux, it is going to throw him back in the field a little bit. We'll see how it works out in these final 15 or so. It was 15 to begin lap 26, but under caution flag. Of course, we're not counting caution laps, but it does just kind of inevitably use one lap up. So we'll go back green flag racing in lap 27 with 14 laps to go here at the Volusia Speedway. So 7 miles remain for these drivers. What can they do to better their finishing positions, or if you're Travis Miller, try and hang on?
Well, he's got a lot of hungry drivers right behind him. He's definitely got Gavin Isel to worry about. Obviously, Maxime Plant's been fighting. Brett Fisher, Jamie Porter, those guys definitely going to try to get on strong. Brett Fisher showing he was going to do so, running with Plant to the top side. Gavin Isel stays low in that car, number 18. Jamie Porter goes way to the bottom. Oh, Reeve! Nice save, Reeve! Thomas Richard got into it, and there they go.
That might be a little bit of karma there. Thomas Richard with a big send, tags Reeve, and now he and Hilton are hanging from their belts inside their virtual machines. Let's take a look back. I want to watch this from the onboard of Thomas Richard.
Hey, I got to give Hunter Reeve a ton of credit. He got that car under control when Richard gave him that little nudge in the middle of 3 and 4. That's not something that's super easy to do, let alone in a late model. And just really good performance from Hunter Reeve. But we're right on board with Thomas Richard and kind of see what goes down with this car number 300 to go sliding up and then cause the inevitable yellow.
Just a big send, doesn't quite hit his line up the racetrack, and there's the contact. And then it's all going to get going from here. You see 4 wide, and that's never going to work. Hilton in the wall hard, along with Richard. Giroux around again. A big junk in turn 1.
Yeah, and it looked like DeRitter was trying to kind of capitalize a little bit there from that contact that kind of got Richard out of whack, and obviously Hunter Reeve as well was kind of squirrely there. But DeRitter tried to poke the nose in there when there was a small gap, and then it closed up. And what are you going to do? Adam Hilton involved, Thomas Richard involved, a couple more behind them, getting caught up in that incident as well. Tough break, tough way to try to get into the last quarter of this race. But, you know, you got to start trying to make passes, and obviously DeRitter was trying to do so right there.
We'll take another stab at things. We'll restart here with, it looks like, 12 laps to go. And, man, I'm just excited to see how this works out. A very clean 22. You can tell nobody's been in front of him thus far this evening, aside from that one attempt from Maxime Plant. But I think as these laps go on, these guys are starting to figure them out.
Hey, I'm actually enjoying these late models. I'm more of a wing sprint kind of guy by nature. But, you know, these late models, they're figuring these out. They're racing really good with each other and up at the front end. We've had some really great races for position. These double file restarts at the beginning of the race, you know, we send it to single file, but we're back to the double file. It's working pretty well now, and it's getting exciting.
And these late models on a brand new tire model as well here on the iRacing.com sim, so certainly changing up what these drivers can expect with their setups. But it's working out this evening. I like what we've seen so far. Coming to another restart, we'll go back green flag racing. Another great launch out of the 22 car. And side by side, they'll go for second, third, and fourth.
Trying to get to the last quarter of this event, Brett Fisher kind of sticks it down low on Maxime Plant. Maybe going to make a run for second spot right here. That number 21 goes in the middle. Porter goes way low. Isel up top. That's new for the 18 car. Oh. Contact at the line.
Porter on the inside, very slow, but we keep racing green flag for now. That was 11 to go. That time by the stripe, side by side. Fisher and Plant, their numbers equal 100. I don't know why I realize those weird number facts, but I do. It's 3 wide in behind. Earl Jackson in the midst of things. Hunter Reeve into the top 5, and it looks like Gavin Isel's on the outside.
Hunter Reeve is rocking the top side right now. Car number 44 going to the outside of Earl Jackson. He's got Isel behind him, who was going low for a while, catfishing, but now he goes up to the top side with Hunter Reeve as they're trying to run. Reeve trying to break into 4th spot now as Earl Jackson has taken that spot. Brett Fisher kind of still holding on to Maxime Plant, but Travis Miller is capitalizing.
These are fantastic battles here at Volusia. I love dirt racing at this place. It used to be paid for NASCAR, now it's dirt. I think it works a whole lot better this way. Earl Jackson to the inside of Brett Fisher. We heard some crunches on the front stretch, but we keep racing. It's lap 33 of 40, and here comes Earl Jackson.
Jackson goes in really deep right there. Contact between him and Fisher. Fisher slides up the racetrack. Reeve gonna have to back it down, see if he can make a way around that 21 machine. Right now, Travis Miller runs down low. Look at Plant, Diamond, the corner, get off with a ton of momentum. The 79 holding on strong as they go through turn 3. Didn't get that car turned in the corner, didn't slide very well, but still holds on.
Let's reset this battle for the race lead. 6 laps to go that time by, and here comes Earl Jackson right back into the mix. Look at that run down the straightaway. Plant knows he's got to use that run to try and get to the outside or the inside of Miller and hold it. This time it goes to the outside. He'll constrict the exit and wins the drag race back to the line for 5 to go.
Plant just barely got the nose at the line that time. Now he's going to rocket off the top side of turn number 2 and take over the race lead into turn number 3. On board with Earl Jackson as we come through 3 and 4. He's watching the leaders side by side, seeing if he can figure out a way to get around both of them, take it 2 for 1 and get into that race lead.
We'll see what the 58 car can maybe do. Now it's the 22 and the 79 in reverse order. The 22 back up the inside of the 79, and he tries to make it work as Miller is just struggling for grip down there at his Chevrolet Camaro. And to the top side continues the Maxime Plant machine. The gentleman working things out now clears the 22 for sure. And a big run down to turn 3 for Miller. Back to the inside, and this is just fantastic.
Plant's car is definitely hooked up a lot better for him right now than Miller is. They got the whole way into this race. We got 2 more laps to go. Travis Miller's car not quite on the money like Maxime Plant is right now. They go down the back straightaway, and that race lead has been taken over by Maxime Plant. Miller is not letting him go. They're going to come see the white flag. Maybe he'll get one more shot at a pass.
One final time around the Volusia Speedway Park for the first run in the BRP Pro Dirt Late Model Season 2 Tour. Here we go to turns 3 and 4. Can Miller do anything? No, he's just not close enough. And out of turn number 4, Maxime Plant wins the Volusia.
What a great run to the line, and the rest of the top 5 come through. Hunter Reeve broke into the top 5 there at the end. It looked like Miller tried to get a diamond off of that final turn. Didn't quite work out for him, but the rest of the field comes through now. And the last of the tail end of the field going to get that checkered flag. How about that run to the end for the gentleman, Maxime Plant, holding on strong with Travis Miller right there. And Earl Jackson broke a top 3 in his first showing.
Amazing stuff this evening. A fantastic run here at the Volusia Speedway Park. It usually is with the BRP iRacing series, but boy, that was something special once we got green flag racing here in virtual Florida. We will take a step aside momentarily, but right back to you in just a few moments with post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. These are some that you will not want to miss.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back to the Volusia Speedway Park, at least virtually here in virtual Barberville, Florida. What a race we got here this evening, Joe, to open up the BRP iRacing Series Pro Dirt Late Model Tour. What a treat it is to bring these guys to each and every dirt track that we can go to across the country. We've got 13 great ones lined up this season, and we've already got one in the books. And it was Maxime Plant over the hard-charging Travis Miller leading us to victory. We'll bring him in. We'll talk to the gentleman himself. And Maxime, we're getting all too used to talking to you after these races. 6 laps led, but you led the ones that mattered most.
Hi guys. Yeah, it's a really nice race tonight. I'm really happy to finish in first and to race with Travis for the lead.
Well, of course, everybody is always happy to finish first. How did you do it, though? We saw that battle come down to the wire with you and Travis.
Yeah, the battle was really epic. It's easier for me because during the race I can see Travis. I can know what wrong he do or what good lane he chose. So I can follow Travis and learn about the track and the cars. So that's why I can pass him on the middle of the track because I saw a little bit more grip up there. So I'll try this and I'm finishing first.
Yeah, we saw the way you were working the corners. You were essentially diamonding the exit and taking a straighter line and getting more momentum. Was that the key to getting alongside and passing him?
Yeah, because the late model is a car what you need to keep to have more speed on the stretch.
Momentum, yep.
Yeah, momentum. So yes, I dive the corner to get when we get more speed, and so when I enter in the corner, I try on the middle and pass him Travis.
Well, Maxime, yet again a fantastic win. This one, it was a little bit come from behind, a little bit of a comeback for you, but certainly a commanding one. How do you feel for the rest of the season? We've got 12 races ahead.
Yeah, so this time I'll try to figure out in the championship. So it will be more concentration and real smooth. Don't crash. So I don't want to be unlucky. So I will try to figure out in the top 3 or win the championship.
Absolutely, Maxime. Well, congratulations this evening. A big win to start the season. Best of luck to you in the 12 remaining. Hoping to talk to you a whole lot more this season.
Thank you, sir.
And actually, I'm sorry, I totally skipped over it. We always want to ask, who do you have to thank, who do you have to shout out this evening?
Yeah, so thanks a lot for you guys, for the stream and the league. It's an amazing job. And thanks for the family and the sponsor, keep with me for the 2021 season, the summer.
All right, Maxime. Now we'll say good night, and we'll let you have a good one. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Maxime Plant gets it done this evening at Volusia in commanding fashion there in the closing laps, and it was just over this guy in second place. I hand the mic over to Joe Donahue.
And I'm going to gladly take that mic and talk to my man Travis Miller. Travis, this is Joe Donahue with PitStop TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Travis, this was your race at the start. You were working really well, and it seemed like you've had that car figured out at the beginning.
Yeah, it was good. I just I ran the top at the beginning. I knew that was going to come in, and then I knew the bottom was going to come in about halfway through the race, and I knew that Max was going to just stay on the top and just wait for the bottom to go away at the end there, and I was one lap too late, and then that's all it took. It was second place.
Now, did you expect that track to kind of change a little bit more than it did? It seemed like it stayed young for a lot longer, at least than I had expected, that we had a lot more tackiness in the track over the course of the entire race. Did you kind of expect that, or were you kind of prepared for the track to stay that way throughout the course of the race?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure how it was going to go, honestly. I think the reason it stayed like that was just because of all the early cautions. I think a lot of the guys, like in the mid to the back, were running the bottom, so it just the top stayed in for a little bit longer. But that was the most lines I've seen change at Volusia in a long time, so you can't be too mad at the racing that we got out of it, that's for sure.
Oh, that is absolutely for sure. It was some really awesome racing working, as we worked up the racetrack right there. It was a good start to your season. And so how do you feel? You got your first race under the belt. You got your chance at, progressing for the championship. 12 more races to go. How do you feel with this late model?
Well, I think the late models are going to be a little bit better. I don't know why. I just couldn't run that good in the big blocks last season. So, we finished second at Volusia, and then our season kind of went downhill from there. So hopefully we can kind of swing that the opposite way and just stay consistent, and hopefully we can give Max a run for his money here.
Hey, we're always good for a nice battle on track and for a championship. You're good with starting your seasons off in the top threes, and you did so tonight as well. Second place at the end of this one. Who do you have to thank for your run tonight, and who else do you want to shout out on the broadcast?
Yeah, I just got to shout out my girlfriend for watching at home. My parents are watching. The 17C crew, they're watching too, so shout out to them. Just got to thank Miller's Auto Detail, Beefy Sports, Corby for putting this whole thing together. There's a band of us that try and get this thing going every week, and it's starting to grow a lot more. So just got to thank him for all that, and thank you guys for running on the broadcast.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Congratulations on behalf of PitStop TV for your run, and I have a feeling we'll be talking to you a couple more times this season, my friend.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Travis Miller rounds out second place tonight. Had a good run with a bunch of laps led as well. Andrew showing some stuff for this season, and you're going to bring in somebody who's showed a lot of stuff for potential this season as well, running in fifth place.
Yeah, we only ran 40 laps this evening, but we learned a whole lot about Hunter Reeves' dirt racing prowess. Hunter, buddy, we know you from racing Mazda Miatas and GT4 Porsches. Where did this skill on dirt racing come from?
Dirt racing is my other love. I love road racing, but I absolutely love dirt racing. It's just so much fun to do it on iRacing. I don't have any real life experience. Hopefully I can change it one day, but and watching it, so I'm just a big dirt fan.
Hey, maybe someday we can get Operation Motorsport into dirt racing, but tell everybody watching this evening about Operation Motorsport and why I say that you're a beneficiary there at Operation Motorsport and the Operation Motorsport e-racing league presented by Ricardo. Of course, we know your story on Tuesday nights, but over here on Mondays, we haven't heard that story yet. Let's hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Operation Motorsports is a non-for-profit organization designed to take ill and injured service members and put them in like a racing environment, to put them back together, put them into a team environment again, and where veterans and people with military experience really thrive. I myself have always loved racing. I'm also was medically discharged from the Army 4 years ago now. I found Operation Motorsports. I've done stuff with them in real life. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, that's kind of shut things down. But we have a really big e-racing program as well, and obviously broadcast by you guys.
Absolutely, and we like to ask over there in the Operation Motorsport broadcast how that league has helped, obviously, you beneficiaries. How is moving into other leagues and other different little circles, different, be it official racing, hosted races, whatever, how has iRacing in general helped you as somebody who is discharged from the Army?
You meet a lot of people that love what you love, and that you have a fun bond. I've made buddies that live 2,000 miles away from me, due to iRacing, and I've been friends with them for years now. You kind of, and when you do endurance racing, for example, puts you in a team environment, so you get to work with people and figure out what you need to do to succeed or, accomplish your mission.
Absolutely, and let's add to some of those missions now that you're able to give yourself. Coming out here, your first start with the BRP iRacing series, to put yourself in the top 5. How do you feel about the rest of the season? 12 races to go, and we start that off with Lernerville in a week's time.
I just hope I don't send myself into outer space. It's easy to do, but I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm okay in super late models. I can never do very well, but pros I'm pretty good in, so I'm feeling pretty confident about the series.
Well, Hunter, before we let you go, want to give you a moment, give you the floor. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out this evening with a 5th place finish?
Yeah, as we talked about Operation Motorsports, if you want to take a look at what it has to offer, if you're a veteran, check it out, operationmotorsports.com. Please consider supporting the organization. It's a fantastic organization. Big shout out to my other sponsor, Afro Web Dev, and thanks to BRP for running this league. This is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to. I'd like to keep running just a mix of cars. I like all the dirt racing cars, so I hope to stick around with this one for a while.
Absolutely. So Hunter Reeve, congratulations in the top 5 in your first start. I can't wait to see where that 44 goes this season.
Thanks, man. Please don't jinx me.
You know what? I'll knock on wood real quick. Knock on wood, so hopefully we don't.
We're good now. I'll be in the hunt for the championship then.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll let you go this evening. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you.
Hunter Reeve with the top 5 in his first start. When I saw that he got up there in the top 5, we had to talk to him. And I want to give a special shout out as well. One of our members crossing over from LTAC to the BRP iRacing series in Brett Fisher. But Hunter Reeve with that special story, it's always a good one to hear, especially being able to bring it over into a new series that we broadcast here on the platform. It's really, really cool to hear. But let's quickly go over our race results this evening. Joe Donahue, Maxime Plant stealing the show pretty late there from Travis Miller, grabs himself that victory, and Earl Jackson joins them on the podium. A shout out to Earl Jackson as well. His first start grabs a podium finish along there with Brett Fisher and Hunter Reeve in the top 5.
Yeah, good performance for all those guys up at the top end. You got Hunter Holberg pulled out 6th place at the end of that one. Got into a couple incidents early on, but put the bullhorns on, rocked out to 6th place. Gavin Eisel going to finish P7th. Nice showing to start off the season for him. Matt DeRitter on to 8th spot in the 003. Alan Slate pulls off the top 10 in his first start with the series, and Jamie Porter rounds out top 10. Pretty solid result for race 1 of the season.
Moving on back to 11th position, we see another driver crossing over series into the BRP iRacing series for the Pro Dirt Late Model Tour. It's Ryder Schrauf finishing things out in the 11th position for the 58S and the Tucson Sound Art team. James Richard finishes 12th here at Volusia. Randy Giroux ends up 13th. Not as a big of a show this evening. Unfortunately, got caught up in some incidents not of his own doing, along there with Adam Hilton and Thomas Richard to round out the top 15.
You throw it back to the beef, finishing P16 is Corby Daniels. Then you got Tanner Correa has been in a few incidents tonight, as well as Randy Rockwell finishing P18. Tyler Pachalski in 19th, Dean Meitzler in 20th. Not really the greatest start to the season, but hey, there's plenty of racing left, and there's plenty of opportunities to get up to the front end.
But hey, shout outs to all the new members here in the BRP iRacing series, giving us one of our best fields yet. You got guys like you mentioned, Tanner Correa, Randy Rockwell. We've got, of course, Ryder Schrauf. We've got Hunter Reeve, Brett Fisher, Earl Jackson. So many new names, new faces here in the BRP iRacing series. Can't wait to see where this season goes. And of course, a big shout out as well to our returning and a new partner here with the BRP iRacing series. Of course, Bicknell Racing Products, the namesake of the BRP iRacing series, Matt DeRitter Designs, Jam Performance, Costco Haulage, and Miller's Auto Detailing, allowing these guys to do what they love here on the iRacing.com sim. And of course, a big shout out to our partners as well. These broadcasts always brought to you by Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. Race Pace Setups, pick up pace with Race Pace. Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, where you deserve the best care that money can buy, and Whiplash Media, the official broadcast camera and graphic provider, if you will, of PitStop TV. Joe, final thoughts as we get ready to leave Volusia.
Volusia, pretty cool track. It was exciting racing. I think these guys, they got the rust off themselves. They put it together for a pretty good show at the front end of the field. We saw a lot of really great racing. I'm really excited. I think this rookie class that we have is going to be putting up a great battle against those guys that we're used to seeing up at the front end. But, cream rises to the top. And tonight, I think the same happened. Travis Miller, Maxime Plant leading the way. It's going to be a really great season. I'm excited. I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Absolutely. A wonderful opening race to... Well, it's going to be a fantastic season, I think, with, of course, the Pro Dirt late models and the asphalt mods alongside on Wednesday nights. It's going to be fun. But that'll conclude our coverage tonight of the BRP Pro Late Model Tour. We at PitStop TV thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. The channel stays active weekly and you can catch a variety of racing throughout the coming days, from North Wilkesboro tomorrow evening to Wednesday's BRP Asphalt Modified Tour debut and so much more. There's plenty of action that you do not want to miss coming up on all of our PitStop TV platforms. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PitStopTV, on Twitter at PitStopTV_, on Instagram at Pit_Stop_TV, there we go, as well as on Twitch at www.youtube. Golly, I am not with it tonight, boys. www.twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/C/PitStopTV1. For all of us here at PitStop TV, of course, Joe Donahue with me on the mic this evening, Trey Shuttlesworth out and around the track grabbing us some virtual photos. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night, and we will see you next time.